find some sort of harmony and balance.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's BC. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast / video. I wanted to give you guys some very basic kind of fundamental habits that I've implemented for a long time. It should help you whether in your business and your life, because I'm always about doing things from a universal standpoint, not the universe, but I mean applying things across the board, because a lot of times we try to be specific and attack one area of life. And by doing that, we coincidentally neglect another piece, and we don't want that. So as best as I can, I try to give you a lot of things and tips and habits and techniques that you can apply across the board. So then you become these principles, you embody these principles, and now you don't have to mix and match or pick and choose. You can just go for it, okay? So these are gonna be simple habits that you can start doing immediately that I've been doing for a long time that will help you tremendously. Number one, breathe. Right? If you do not do intense exercise at least a couple days a week where it forces you to breathe hard, you're not running, you're not jump roping, you're not sprinting, you're not, doing some of these things, I'm going to recommend, right? Because that's one way of doing it, right? If you're doing that at least a couple days a week, 3-4 days a week, you're filling your body with oxygen, which is good. That's what gives you that natural high. That's what gets the blood pumping. It's what cleans your blood. It's what cleans your lungs. It gets more life and energy into your system, right? Like as an example, if you're feeling low or about to sleep, take 5 or 6 deep breaths like that. And you'll notice 30 seconds later, all of a sudden you're way more alert. It was because you're feeding oxygen to your system. We've gotten to a point where our breathing is very, very shallow. You'll notice when you get stressed or emotions spike up or you get angry or something like that, your breathing becomes very narrow and very shallow, right? So breathe before you make a decision. Breathe all the time. Take 4 or 5 times throughout the day to do 5 or 10 deep breaths. Over the long haul, it's going to do a lot for you. It's good for your skin. It's good for your blood. It's good for your system. It's good for everything, right? There's no negative effects to doing breath. Now, I don't want you to get caught up in, this system of breath work. Forget all that stuff, because then you end up researching and you don't do anything. Just take 10 deep breaths that you hold for a couple seconds and exhale 5 times a day. That will change a lot for you. And it'll start bringing more awareness and focus to your moments. Do it before you make your calls. Do it before you walk into a home to meet with a client, right? Do it before anything like that, and you'll notice a big difference. But breathe. When you wake up, breathe. Before you go to sleep, breathe. It relaxes you. It fills you with life. It fills you with energy. And it's going to help your system that much more. Okay? That's number one. Number 2 is in the morning. Right? In the morning, especially, this is how I'm going to focus this one. In the morning, have water. Right when you wake up, have water. Don't even do anything else. I know we run to the coffee, we jump on our phone, we do all these things. Drink water. If anything, maybe brush your teeth right before, but have water. Have a big glass of water. You guys always see me with those glass bottles of the Mountain Valley spring water, right? Shout out to them. I've been drinking that stuff for years and years and years. And I have water in the morning, right? Your system has been depleted of water for 8 hours, 9 hours, 7 hours, however long you've slept. Drink water. It will energize you. It will hydrate you. It'll get your system going. It'll feed your organs. It'll clean your blood. That's what you want to do, because the more that our vessel is optimized, our body, right, the better it feeds the mind, the better it is with dealing with your emotions and all these other things that we fail to realize are interconnected. Okay, so have water. I'm not going to tell you to drink 10 gallons of water throughout the day. This one is specifically focused for the morning. Make sure you're getting your water in the morning first thing. Okay, if you do that, right, you'll see that you'll have more energy, right? Maybe you don't need the coffee or something else, because coffee actually dehydrates you. I won't sit here and argue about it, but I don't drink coffee. I don't need coffee. I have an abundance of energy because of my diet, but because I'm also hydrated most of the time. Like right now, I don't have my water with me, and it's in the morning when I'm shooting this, and I wish I did, because I would be drinking during this episode. So as soon as this is over and we cut it off, I'm going to go drink some more water, right? Get some coconut water too if you want. Make sure it's 100% pure coconut water, and it doesn't have absorbic acid and all this sugar and all this other nonsense that they add to it, right? That's another very good drink that you can have that hydrates you. But in the morning, have your water, preferably spring water. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3. Now, you guys know I've been preaching to people to have media-free mornings. No radio, no TV, no email, no phone until noon, right? Unless you're going to use your phone to make calls and stuff like that. But I'm going to add as a habit, the first 30 minutes you rise, no phone. We've been programmed now to run to our phone, to look at our phone, right? Even I catch myself sometimes looking at it a little bit too much, even though my screen time is very low. Get off your phone. When you wake up, Do not look at your phone. If you have your alarm on your phone, shut it off, put it down. Go have some water, read a book, do some breathing exercises. Wait at least 30 minutes, and you'll see that this impulse, it'll force you to plan your day, read a book, go for a walk, stretch, contemplate, do a to-do list. You'll do something that's productive because you won't just reach for your phone, which is a big distraction most of the time. We consume too much. It's become an impulse, right? The dopamine, all the stuff that you've been hearing, all these crazy buzzwords, right? Just stay off your phone for 30 minutes. And you'll see that you'll naturally want to do something more productive, because if you've never done that, meaning you always just instinctively go for your phone, like before you go to sleep or when you wake up, right? You'll have to fill in those gaps now. Your mind will have to find something for you to do, something productive or something to fill in the blanks there, right? And if you don't, right, again, you're just going to be sitting there doing nothing. Maybe you'll start to meditate. Maybe you'll do some breathing exercises, right? You never know until you actually do it. So make sure that you stay off your phone at least those first 30 minutes. If you can't do the whole morning because you're kind of addicted, I think 30 minutes is very feasible for you. So if you wake up at 6, tell yourself, I'm not going to look at my phone until 6:30 in the morning. Okay, cool. That's number 3. Number 4, get some exercise or stretching in the morning, right? When I say in the morning, I mean before you go to work. If you work at 8 or 9 and you wake up at 5 or 6, you have a 2-hour window there to go for a walk. Do a 10-minute yoga session, stretch, move your body around, right? Do some active kind of warm up where you're swinging your hips, you're doing some kick throughs, right? You're walking, you're doing some lunges, basically getting the body warmed up and doing some sort of active stretching and limbering for your system. Now, I'm 37 years old and I'm super flexible. I can stand and, my hamstrings are super flexible. I can put my head between my legs. I can do the splits. I can do a lot, but that's what keeps me limber, light on my feet, young. I'm 37, but I move like I'm 21, right? That's because I do these things. It's not because I'm special. But we find that we're very sedentary. We sit too much, right? We don't walk. We don't move. What you don't use, you will lose. What you don't use, you will lose. Stay limber, stay active, work on the muscles around the back and the core and the legs, and you'll see that you'll stand up straighter. You'll feel better. You have more energy. You have more range of motion in your body. Your muscles won't atrophy. Your joints won't get stiff. You'll push out a lot of inflammation. And combined with the breathing and the water, now your system is going to operate very, very efficiently, which is what you want ultimately, right? If we can do that, we're starting to push a little bit now into optimization of how the human being can function, right? And all these things, without a doubt, will have a benefit towards your mental, towards your emotional state. Because even diet, I'm not going to focus on specifically in this video, but the moment I shifted my diet, I immediately had a better control of my emotions. I immediately had a very large boost in energy levels. And not only that, sustained energy levels throughout the day, right? So these are all interconnected and very important, all right? So that was number 4. Number 5, you need to start drinking more tea. Now, when I say tea, I don't mean in the little packets from the market. That's dead. That has 0 to very little nutrition. I'm talking about buying the roots and the leaves that are raw and boiling those for 10 or 15 minutes, letting it steep, and then pouring out your tea. We as a population are extremely anemic. Now, we're deficient in most minerals, 102 minerals that the body needs, right? Things like sea moss get you a vast majority of that, but I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about tea. Have tea once, twice, 3 times a day. Get some of these roots like burdock root, right? Sarsaparilla, I don't know how to say that in English. Sarsaparilla, right? All these, elderberry, all of these roots and berries and leaves that if you get them, and they're not expensive, and you can find them in most markets, right? Or you can find them online for relatively cheap now because of e-commerce, right? If you do this, you will mineralize your body, get it what it needs to operate correctly, right? Iron is like electricity. When you have iron in your blood, it's like energy, it's a cleanser, it's the life of what you need in your system to purify it and keep it going and feed it what it needs, right? And if you're anemic, right, you have bags under your eyes, you don't feel good, you sleep like crap, you have no energy. I don't have to deal with any of that. I'm very energetic. I sleep like a baby. I don't have these problems, right? Every once in a while, because I tend to eat too much fruit, I've had some stomach issues, but that's my own fault. I know I'm eating too much fruit, so I back off and then I'm good, right? So anything in too much or missing things causes problems in the system long term. And some of you may be watching this, like the bulk of my audience. You're 18, you're 25, you don't care, because that's the age bracket of most of my listeners is between 18 and 30. You're like, well, I'm young, I feel good, or I don't care. But again, if your body starts breaking down in your 20s, which for most people it has, they have acne, they have energy issues, right? And you're young, imagine what's going to happen 10 or 20 years from now. It's not going to be pretty. So start implementing some of these things now, do the right things, and later on, you won't have to deal with any issues that come up with it. Everybody I know that's my age, most of them have issues, and a lot of them have major issues, and I have a clean slate of health. I just recently got my blood tested again, and I'm waiting for the results. But aside from maybe possibly being deficient in a mineral or two or something like that, it's not coming back with cancer and all these issues and oh my God, right? It's always little things and I make small tweaks and I'm good, but I prioritize my health. But the teas are huge. I have tea all the time. I have tea every day because I understand that our soils are depleted. The food that we're eating now is not as nutritious as it was before. So I have to have some of these natural teas to supplement and make sure that I'm getting what I need. Okay. Another one is this. I have two more for you. Read. I don't mean watching videos. I don't mean being on your phone. I mean grabbing a paperback book and reading. Read, right? The more you do that, I would recommend you do at least 30 minutes a day. It will change your life, man. We've defaulted to YouTube and podcasts to learn. Are you sure you're learning? Because for a lot of times, for most people, I would say, based on what they're telling me, it's mental masturbation, right? Even the basic stuff that they learn in quotes, they don't implement. So what's the point? What's the point of spouting out all this knowledge if I look at your life and you're not an embodiment or representation of those principles that you've learned? You say you know sales, you can't sell for shit. You say you embody all these philosophical principles, yet you don't demonstrate them in your life. Then what's going on here, right? By reading, taking notes, highlighting, and being more mindful when you're learning, to me, that's ancestral and it's different than watching a video or something like that. Technology is fantastic, don't get me wrong. But most of my learning is from books. That's why when you guys mention certain people or YouTube channels or this and that, like I have no idea what you're talking about because my head is in the books, not on my favorite YouTuber and what they say and, you know, this influencer and that influencer, right? That comes second, third, fourth to the actual real knowledge, okay? And lastly is organization, right? Is your car clean? How about your house, right? I'm constantly cleaning and organizing my house and my space because that's a representation of your state of mind. If that's disorganized, your mind and your life is disorganized. I guarantee it. Simple stuff. Is your car always on empty? Why? My tank is always at half or more, right? But organize your space. It feels better. There's a different frequency, right? Your mind visually sees it all the time. And if it's disorganized, other parts, it's going to be okay to be disorganized because that's what your mind is picking up, right? So simple principles, guys. We went over 7 with you today. But if you implement these, and again, none of these are revolutionary, but you need to do them consistently and you need to do them every single day. Every single day. You do this, no doubt your life will change, guaranteed. Okay, that's it for this one, guys. Appreciate you listening. If you're in the Miami area, I will be doing another event this Friday on NLP. I'm going to be promoting it more. We just finished up another batch of webinars. I will be doing more soon in the future, so stay tuned for those. If you need any help, reach out to me or go to bryancasella.com, bryancasellacoaching.com. Check out what we have, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.